So, Darlock Cabal is the final of the 6 races in the core box, and this is the one I have been playing the least. It's still funny to play with this, or fun to play with this. I'm just not a huge fan of Darlock in the Master of Orion PC game, but it definitely feels more fun in the board game, and they have made a lot of changes that it's just not the spy faction, it is in the PC game. So that's great. They have really done nice work with the Darlock Cabal. So if you look at the home planet first, which is nothing, uh, it's 1 food production, 3 science, and 3 production. Right here we can see the first difference. Darlock is not heavy tech race in the PC game, but they have kind of pushed it towards that in the board game. In the PC game, it doesn't have any bonus to research. Darlock kind of relies on the spy to find the technology from the other players, but in the board game version, it has some research stuff going on. And the unique action card is Shapeshifters. You can use it as diplomacy action or look at the diplomats hired by another player, use a spy from them against a different player. You are the initiator. So in for example 4-player game, you can just use this on another player and use a spy from there to another player, and you are the initiator. So you will get the spy bonus effect. So it's really fun and really annoying. It can cause other people to hate you and probably ally against you, but it's super fun. But this of course needs more players to work, so it doesn't do anything in 2-player game, so it's kind of sad. But yeah, uh, and then if we move to the faction board, Master Spies. During diplomacy action, you can use the following effects against the player targeted by the spy. You are the initiator. So again, it feels like the PC game. You have to have spies. You have to spy on other races. So the special actions you have is steal. You can steal 1 resource, or this one that flip a developed technology. So if you are in a war against another player next to you, and that player has some amazing weapon technology, for example, you can flip it with this, so it won't be available to use in this round. Really nice, strong effect. And we have secret path. Treat 2 adjacent system under your influence as linked. So if you have influence on different systems, they are linked, which is quite nice. And they are very weak in invasion action. Only 6+ will hit. And the combat is the typical 5+. And they start with 1 food, 6 science, 3 production, 2 credit. So again, they are pushing Darlock in the board game towards more science heavy race than in the PC game. Income is 1 credit for each system you own with at least 3 population. So it is the same as Republic of Sol. And adaptation is low temperature is good and high is bad for you. So they start with 1 in the government. They have basic stuff, hydroponic farm, research laboratory, automate factories. But then they have this perfect mimicry, which is instead of playing a tech card, you can discard it and use an empire action card played by another player this round. That's really funny. So you can just discard a tech card and use some other player empire action. So that's really, that can cause really interesting interactions with player. So yeah, this is really fun stuff. And there is nothing too major in the biology tree other than that there's a advanced terraforming. They are not having they are missing the terraforming. And in research, they have basic database and advanced database, but this dark energy network is special. So in diplomacy, with 6 plus, gain 2 research per every spy in play you are the initiator of. This is really interesting. This can really make you a lot of science points if you are able to play a lot of spies and then you use this one. So I'm really liking these 3 when I'm playing Darlocks because they are, as you can see, more science focused than in the PC game. And then we have the engineering. We have extended shadow, which is your cruisers can use the frigate's shade ability. Well, what is shade? Shade is it can move through a system under your influence even if there are enemy pieces there. So if you have influence in the system, you can just ignore enemy fleet and just move through that. But one thing I don't know how it works with cruiser, which has only 1 move speed. I guess you can just move the same system. That's kind of funny and weird. I don't actually know how the rule will work in this interaction. And then we have doppelganger. So it's a compatibility. At the beginning of the combat, choose any tech developed by enemy. During this combat, you both can use that tech. So, for example, if you are fighting against Cylon, you can just pick any technology they have and use it as you have it all. So that can be also really funny. So I feel like the board game version of Darlock is much more funnier version than the PC game, where you are just spying on computer players, and it doesn't feel like as satisfying as this when you are playing against real people. And I'm really loving the way they have implemented the Darlock, and it feels like Klakon. It feels like same old, but also fresh and new. I'm really loving it. At the government track, we have basic stuff: spy network, better diplomats, trade board, superior diplomats. So there is nothing special here. I guess they probably want to use the spy networks in some way. It's anyways a free building. So I guess this could be the race that actually use the spy network. I haven't used it at all, so or spy center, I mean. But yeah, that's all the technological stuff they have. And then the ships, we already look at the shade ability, which is really unique. This is the first frigate that has something different. And then the cruiser has stealth projector in combat. Your ships of other classes can't be destroyed before this one. So if you have at least 1 cruiser, your frigates are kinda safe until the cruiser is destroyed. This is really interesting stuff. The Titan doesn't have any abilities. It's just 5-2. But it's a little bit cheaper. It's just 7 production. And the Doomstar is 13 production, 3-7. It hits with 3 dice and as says 7 HP. And it has 2 steps ahead combat ability. This ship gains 1 extra dice for every spy targeting your enemy. So again, you want to have the spies. You are kind of the player everybody hates in the table. You are just going to mess everybody with your spies. So it can cause some issues. People might want to attack you and send spies back to you and stuff like that. But yeah, that is the way Darlock plays. It's annoying race. Nobody likes to play against the Darlocks, so I guess that's one thing. And the purple color is perfect for Darlock. They are purple color in my mind at least, and that comes from the PC game, of course. But yeah, so that's all for Darlock, and this is the final race we have in the core box, and there is still 3 in both of the first 2 expansions. Then we have the underruns, And the stretch goals, there are Kanata and Trilarians. So there's a lot of races we don't yet get to see what they do. Of course, they have the explanations on the GameFound page. They explained really well uh, most of the races, at least, but we haven't seen the actual player boards and stuff by ourselves. So we have some idea how they work. So I will be doing deep dives on those races once we have them available. But for now, this is all we have. So yeah, this is the final race. So yeah, thank you for watching and bye.